I'm going to let Aunt Vicki introduce our first guest as we bring him on up.
Okay, thank you, Becky. Like Becky told you earlier, we cover all aspects of the Western way of life and our roots. And today we're bringing a gentleman up on stage that has won awards, many awards. He's a Western author. We're going to bring him up here and let him tell you all about what he does. Mr. Denny Bertrand from Salida, Colorado. Welcome to our stage.
And what I love about having cell phones is you can keep your notes on your phone. So I'm not just playing on my phone. I'm actually looking at our notes so we have some time to visit. Have a seat, Denny. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're on a book tour here in the NFR.
Well, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, and from what I understand, you wrote your first book in 2010. Tell us about your love of books.
Well, really, I'm not a writer by heart. I just started writing some poems about 10, 15 years ago, and I started putting them together, and then I paid to get the first book published, which was Western Poetry with the Cowboy Flair. And in 2013, I won the silver medallion from the Will Rogers Medallion Awards. This current book is Somewhere Out West, Petey and Cecil. We were in Fort Worth a month ago, once again for the Will Rogers Medallion Award, and I won the silver medallion with it. And it just went from there.
Well, Denny, tell us a little bit about who Petey and Cecil are.
Well, the way I kind of look at it and explain it, some of it's truth, some of it's fiction, and a lot of lies.
And that's what the West was made of.
I based this on when I was a kid out of high school working up in central Colorado at a Grays Association. And I just kind of started making this all up. We were going to do a full novel, and my publisher said, wait, let's do 3 books, break it in 3, and do 3 novellas. So that's what we've done. The second book is in the process of being published right now. It's Somewhere Out West on a Ranch. And the third book will be Somewhere Out West in the middle of nowhere. So that's where we're kind of at with everything right now.
Those are great names. I love it because sometimes that's where you just need to be, is somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
There you go. Absolutely right. And you know, we were visiting with Denny before we came on stage, and I absolutely love this. In the front of his book, he writes, "It's only fair to warn you that if you want a book with cussing, drinking, killing, or sex, this is not the one for you. I have grandkids, and I sure want them to read and enjoy the book, and I hope you do too. Please enjoy, Denny Bertrand."
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So now, tell us, you're here promoting your book. How do most find you if they want to order your book?
They can find me on Facebook or go to Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com, and it's also on several other websites. Just go on the internet and surf my name, Denny Bertrand, or surf the title of the book, Somewhere Out West, Petey and Cecil.
Well, now, Denny, you know, there's several rest of the week left here at the WNFR. Are you going to be making any more appearances at any of the shows around?
Yes, tomorrow I'll be on the Anthony Lucia show.
We love Anthony.
Yeah, I'll be on the Anthony Lucia show about this time tomorrow afternoon.
Yep. So that's over at the Pavilions, over by World Market Center.
Right.
And that's a huge venue, so make sure you get over there. That's another Group W production. So
absolutely,
they're our
Group
sister
W.
show.
They are, and
Yeah.
Group W has outdid themselves this year. It's a little bit different. It was at the Sands Country Christmas. It's downtown now. I was down there yesterday morning. You're going to absolutely love it. It is just a perfect setup.
Denny, I do have a question. How long does it take you to write your books, or has it taken you?
Well, like if I was a writer, this one would probably take a week, but I'm not a writer, so that took 3 or 4 months.
Well, if you're not a writer and you can write a book in 3 or 4 months, that's pretty darn good, I must say. So.
No, I'm kind of, they say I'm an inspirational type writer. When something comes to mind, that's when I start writing. I'll write it down, and then I forget about it, and then a month later I'll think of something else and add to it, and that's how all 3 books have been put together. So.
Well, and Denny, before we let you go and bring on our next guest, I wanted to ask you, growing up, did you envision yourself being an author?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I spent most of my lifetime, adult life, in western Kansas and Oklahoma. I was in the feedlot and livestock auction business.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
And you also shared with me you did some announcing at some rodeos back there.
Yes, I announced rodeos in western Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle for 30 years.
Wow.
Well, and I have something that I would like to ask you, and I think it's kind of a pertinent question to ask most our guests because it's relevant to who we all are. What is it about the Western way of life that you love so much and that you would love to pass on to the future generations?
I think it's the lifestyle we have, and I was fortunate. My dad was a brand inspector, so I was exposed to all the ranchers and the livestock market operators and so forth. And I'd just like to see this younger generation get exposed to that and see what real life is on the farm and ranches in the United States.
Well, I think you're doing your part with your books, and you're promoting the Western way and fun stories and wholesome stories because, like you said in the beginning of your book, it's no cussing, no drinking. Granted, we see some of that here and there, but to actually have it taken out of the books and something wholesome is kudos to you for doing that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're going to let Denny go. Denny, are you going to hang out and sign books if anyone wants to buy books, or
yeah,
are you
we've
taking
got a
off?
few with us, and we can get some more if we
Okay.
need to. So,
Okay.
Perfect. Well, Denny
All right.
thank you,
You.
very, very much.
on a ranch and then somewhere out west in the middle of nowhere.
All right. We'll be looking for him.
I had to think about that a minute. That was a trick question.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by. Give Denny a hand and make sure you get one of his books.
Thank you, Denny.
Thank you, ladies.